I'm Danny Brown, and you're listening to 1 Minute Podcast Tips, the show that helps you be a better podcaster in just a minute a week. If you like exclusive tips just for your podcast, as well as early access to all episodes, become a premium subscriber at 1minutepodcasttips.com/support. And now, this week's episode. Hey, Danny here, and welcome to the special episode of 1 Minute Podcast Tips. Today sees the show reach episode 100, which is kind of weird to say, as I wasn't sure if the idea for the show would work or not when I first came up with it. After all, could podcast tips in a minute or less work and, more importantly, offer value? Well, thankfully, with the feedback and reviews that you've been kind to share, it would seem so. So thank you so much for that. So in this special episode, I wanted to share some tips on podcast longevity. The first is to plan ahead. While it's relatively easy to start a podcast, it can be harder to keep it going, with many podcasters stopping by episode 7. This can be down to a few reasons, but the biggest is often not having a plan from the start. So, plan your show out. Format, length, frequency, making sure you have episodes in the bag for when you can't record, etc. So you know exactly what you need to be doing each week, or whatever your publishing frequency is. The second thing is to identify what success looks like to you and how you're going to get there, which can also tie into the planning stage. Is it downloads, listeners, being invited on other shows, reviews, monetization, etc.? Or is it simply recording and publishing consistently for a set amount of time? Decide what success looks like and then work back from there to set out stages of that success. If it's listeners, for example, how many do you want to try and achieve within 6 months, then a year, and so on? And how are you going to get those? So where and how will you promote the podcast, for example? Defining success and how to achieve it will ensure you grow realistically and don't get put off by chasing unrealistic goals. And the third is to listen to what your listeners are telling you. So, for example, what kind of content resonates, what length of content, what kind of takeaways, etc. You can get this information from your analytics, reviews, the percentage of your episodes that are listened to, what calls to action are acted upon, and more. By creating content that you believe in, but that also meets the needs of your listeners, you're going to set yourself up for a podcast that connects and is fun and rewarding to make week after week. Now, there are more ways to continue podcasting past year 1, 2, etc., but these 3 tips are the ones that have helped me, and they're also pretty easy to manage too, so I hope they do the same for you. Thanks again for letting me bring this podcast to you, and for helping it reach episode 100. To celebrate, I'll be having a special live stream on Saturday, October 26th at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. UK time, where you can ask me any podcasting questions you might have. You can set a reminder by going to 1minutepodcasttips.com/100. That's the number 100, 100. I'd love to see you there. Until the next time, happy 100 episodes and happy podcasting. Thanks for listening. If you enjoy 1 Minute Podcast Tips, be sure to share with your friends and other podcasters so they can enjoy it too. Until the next time, happy podcasting.